Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Totally. My name is Anuradha Mathews. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm working with Universal Studios as an ops manager. I take care of the park's costumes under the creative costuming department. So, talking about my depression, I live with depression even till today. I do, but it's how I manage it and how I mean I've grown to handle it so much better than I was when I was younger. So, I realized I had depression. I think I was 19. So the first year, I was 18 when mom passed away. So the first year of losing my best friend, my mother, because they always say parents are the wall that protects you from the world, right? So when you lose that one person that I was so close to, I'm not that close to my dad. So in that way, it was like I lost everything in my life. I went nuts. Basically, a raging rampage teenager who refused to listen to anything, hurt people, do the worst thing that's possible. Anyone who even remotely comes to try and talk some sense, and then I'll push them away. Or I will be. So what I do is I had this very nasty, vile habit. Anyone who tries to do any good to me, I will be nice to them, but I will hurt them and I will run away from them. I used to do this very often to my friends, to my family members, to my mom's sisters, everybody I used to do it. And nobody could understand why or what for I did that. I mean, I couldn't as well. So as this just continued for a very long time, maybe I was 22, 23, 24, all this was just continuing. And I was just destroying my life one by one. At the time, I was working as well, so it ruined my job at times. Sometimes I can't even get up for work. So depression was so bad, but I did not know it was depression until my aunt at that time she was still my friend. She was getting close to me and all of that. Right now she's my best friend. So they all kept telling me something is wrong with you. You need to go see someone. You need to go show someone. But I never listened. So I heard them. In return, I hurt them, right? So usually when I hurt people, they will drop me and they will leave. They will say, you know what, this is not worth it, not worth my time. Which of course, because that's what I give them to do. I give them the ammunition to say all of that about me, because to prove me right in me that because my anger was my mom left me, right? So, but my mother didn't leave me, my mom passed on, but in that child brain of mine was my mom left me. So in that way, I was just devastated. So I hurt people, so I know they will leave me, So it's like a defense mechanism that I had to so-called protect myself. But these two people in my life, even if I hurt them a lot of times. I can't mention how many times, but so many times I hurt them. But somehow they just never gave up on me. They will get angry, they will scold me, they will say like, don't do this and all of that, but never let me go. And just one day I realized like, Anuradha, you got to stop this nonsense. And I couldn't help myself. I don't know how to help myself. So my aunt told me, I bring you to go see a therapist. I went to IMH. I went in to IMH. I started hurting myself. I did self-harm as well, right? But not till I wanted to end my life, but I wanted to cause pain. So I decided this can't work, and I decided, my aunt said, come, I'll bring you. She brought me to IMH. I went to see a therapist there. I went there and I got myself a therapist. I was on antidepressant. It was one of the worst things in my life. Antidepressants is something that was just, to me per se, was just a terrible thing to be on, because it gives you the highs and the next day you're very low. It's not a medicine that I want, but I was on that medicine for almost a year. And therapy is something that I am extremely grateful, and I'm grateful to my aunt and my best friend who brought me there, who dragged me and said, I will come with you. There's no stigma, there's nothing, we will go. And at that time, when you're in your 2000s, right, it's a huge stigma. And there's no such thing as mental health talks. There's no such thing as you go to work and say, I'm stressed, I need a 1 day off. You can't say all of that, right? You power through all of that. But they brought me, I sat down, years of therapy. And then slowly, then after that, halfway through, I realized it was, while going therapy, managing my depression, halfway through I realized I'm gay as well. So added on that stress, and then added on to the fact that, oh shit, I'm this, and then my aunt not accepting that part of me. It was such a segregation, right? Like, she will agree to whatever I say or do, just not that part that I like women. She cannot handle that, right? And my best friend was like, maybe it's a phase, you're going through a phase, you see how it goes and all of that, right? But the fact that she couldn't accept me was there. And then of course, and then to prove myself, like, being lesbian is fine, being gay is fine, but then others think cannot. So this I don't know how or when it started. The internal phobia for other genders was very strong. Even till today, I can never explain why I felt it, right? Like when I meet someone who is like, a female who bind them, bind their breasts and all of that, there's this agitation that comes towards me, and because everybody assume I'm going to be in that side, pissed me off that back then, and I'm like, no, I like being a woman. I like being in a woman's body. I just like the men's dressing, that's all. That's the only thing. I like a short hair. I like men dressing, that's it. But I'm woman. So when people assume, and it's either a butch or a trans, that's all they can say. So I think that kind of triggered a lot of stuff, and I couldn't find what I was, because I'm definitely not. I don't want to be a guy. I definitely don't want to bind my breasts. I like who I am. I just like wearing men's clothes. So that was the internal phobia that I had. That was the struggle that I was going through. I didn't know how. And then because I didn't know how, I started condemning, or I started being very vulgar towards people who address themselves as a butch or as a transgender, trans man, transgender, and all of that. I start scolding them and calling them out, and as it was going, I became a very toxic person, and my environment didn't help, because my environment was, they were okay with the fact that I was a lesbian, but they were not okay with other people. So it kind of boosted my ego, like, okay, I'm special, exceptional, So, but that's not right. That shouldn't be the way. So as this went on for a very long time, I think I was, by the time, 33, 34, I started traveling to India a lot. I had a lot of shoots there happening. My work made me go to India, and not being biased or anything, I favor more to when I look at a woman, I favor more to the Indian side of the woman. So, and then when you can't find anything in Singapore, you try to fish on the other side of the world. So I tried to go to India also because of that as well. So I started seeing a lot of people there, and the LGBTQ there is huge. When I say huge, it's nothing compared to how we have it here. And I was exposed to it there, and I have a very good friend who's also a trans man, right? So they taught me to accept them. They taught me what you're having is internal. That was when I realized the word called internal phobia. You have homophobic internally. That's when I realized it. So when they were talking to me, and when I was talking and having all these questions in my head, they helped me answer, because I couldn't get help here. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know who to go to, because my group were protective of me. So for them, you can be gay, I have no issues, I'll agree. But anyone else, gay, cannot deal with it. Now I have a group of friends who love the fact that I'm getting married and all of that, but at the same time would probably send in another group a video of how disgusting it is for a man-to-man kiss if they kiss. So I have that in my group as well, right? So I felt very special. But when I went to India, all of this was broken, because they all lived together. It was nice to see people come out from their family. They get chased out, and all of that, and it made me realize what I've been doing. I started looking into me and realized that I have been nothing but an asshole and to all the people that I've met in Singapore behaving this way. Having depression, trying to cope with being gay, all of that, internal homophobia, I think what helped me through is definitely the wonderful support of my family and my friends. If it's not for them, I don't think so I will be where I am, for sure. My pillar of strength is definitely my aunt, Auntie Shamini, and my best friend Kaushalya. If it's not for them, I don't think so I would have come out of my depression or get myself fixed, of how my mindset work and all of that. And of course, right now with my partner Shweta, she has also been a very strong support system for me, and she has taught me a lot of stuff in life as well. The way she thinks, the way she works, it has made me a better person, for sure. When you're going through all of this, you just feel like as if everything is coming to an end. You don't know what to do, you don't know where to go. Like for me, I had no clue. I kept hurting people. I didn't know how to react. I was just upset. So eventually your family, you create your own family. You create your own family, you create your own friends to be there. You look up. See, we are not an island on our own. You see, we need people in our lives. We cannot just say, Natanya, sorry, we can't just say that we have to be alone. I don't want anyone. It doesn't work that way. We are creatures who need people. We need that touch, the human touch and everything. So you need to find the right people. You go and you have to be very self-aware of what you're doing. Understand, if you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. It's okay. Making mistakes is how you learn. That's how I learned. That's how I did my stuff. I made so much of mistakes. Sometimes I even think that if I made this many mistakes, I don't know how people are able to forgive me and continue being my friends. But the true ones will always be there. Just because someone scolds you or calls you out doesn't mean the person is bad. They're just trying to help you. That's how you help people. You have to identify your flaws, and like my therapist, she helped me identify what was the issue with me, why I couldn't let go of my mom. I couldn't let go of the anger I was feeling, on top of it. And she taught me a process in my head how to figure things out. So therapy is definitely very helpful. You need to find the right therapist that will help you. It doesn't matter if you go to 1, 2, 3, many therapists. I went through 2 therapists. Lucky enough, my second one was someone who's very strong. Even my first, he was also good, right? But you can try with many people. You can talk to. Some people don't want to go with therapists. You need to have that one person that you can be true to, that you need to be honest to with yourself. That means no skeletons. Everybody say, oh, I have a lot of skeletons in the back, but it doesn't work that way. You need to bare your soul for someone to know who you are. You have to be truthful to that one person who understands you. As a person that have been through a lot, since young, and going through things that I've seen and all of this, what I want to say to this generation or of this Indian community that we are in, because we have a lot of stigmas, we still do. It's very difficult to break away from it. It's very difficult to go and say, I will break down this, because it's generations and years of it being with us. You cannot, one person cannot break this down, or even 100 people cannot break this down. But to be able to work around what is given to you, to adapt to it, to understand where they are coming from, so that's where a lot of avenues have come up. You can go for therapists, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family members, people who understand you, and even random strangers that you meet. Maybe sometimes some people cannot talk to anybody, they don't have anybody, but reach out. There's social media, there's a lot of avenues to talk to people, so you can reach out to anybody. Like I have received comments and inbox messages saying that, oh, it's so nice to see you being so out loud and proud, but I can't do that. Then all I advise them is to be patient. You have me, you want to meet up, we can have a conversation, we can talk, I can help you through stuff, because I know how it was when you go through depression, when you have nobody or you don't know how to handle it, So yeah, seek out for help. don't think you have to suffer this alone. You don't need to. There will definitely be one person who will listen to you. I can be that one person, or your friend can be that one person, your father, your mother, anybody, a stranger, or go and pick up the phone and see which therapist you want to talk to, and speak to them. There will be someone who will listen to you. Don't think you have the entire world's pain and weight on your shoulder. There's always somebody who will be willing to talk to you. So yeah.